A new law recently signed by Governor Jerry Brown should reform the cash bail system so poor people don't have to sit in jail while others with more money can buy their way out.
Critics say the new risk assessment is biased against minorities and flawed for more violent offenders. Civil rights groups and the bail industry have banded together to try to fight it. Joining us now, criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Ambrosio Rodriguez. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning.
All right, so take us to the baseline. How does the bail system work now, and then how does this law seek to change it?
Sure. So the way it works now is each county gets to set a bail schedule. And that means there is a price on bail based on the crime. The more serious the crime, the higher the bail. Makes sense, right? So and the way bail companies work is if you have a public defender, they ask for 10%, of which you never get back. So if your bail's $50,000, it's $5,000 you never get back.
Oh.
If you have a private attorney, they usually lower it to 7%, simply because bail companies feel that if you have the means to hire a private attorney, you are less of a flight risk, and that's their biggest concern. So now the new law that is supposed to go into effect in October 2019 changes it. So if you're arrested, you first see what's called a pretrial service for a risk assessment. And that's going to be based on three things, basically criminal history, if there's any mental health or drug issues, and your age and your ties to the community. There's two things that they're going to look at. Whether you're a flight risk, that really kind of goes to your community, ties to the community, things like that. You have a job, things like that. Or whether or not you are a danger to others. And that usually has to deal with the violence involved in the crime, right? The more violent the crime, the more likely you're going to be deemed a danger to others, and they're going to set bail at a certain number.
So then they would set bail at that point.
Correct. The judge,
individuals.
They're going to make a recommendation. The judge, under the new law, has the ultimate authority. And I think that's, when you mention about civil rights groups or civil liberties groups, that's their biggest concern, is that judges are going to be very shy about implementing the law. Look, California state judges are elected every 6 years. No judge wants to be in the front page of the LA Times as in, I set bail at $20,000. This person, was able to pay the $2,000, whatever, and then someone got killed.
Yeah.
That is in the forefront of every judge. State judges are very cautious about the actions that they take because they don't want to take that risk.
What are the specific arguments against this law?
Well, the specific arguments that was really been made by the bail bonds company, and look, I'm going to say this right off the bat, bail bonds company had this coming. They have been more than abusive. I have seen, there are very few bail bond companies that are legitimate, that are honest. Most of them take a lot of shortcuts and manipulate people in order to get their money. I've seen situations where they will make up excuses in order to take the person into custody and keep the money, and there's really no recourse. So bail bond companies are making the argument that this is going to be a risk to the state of California because a lot of people will not be in custody because of bail. Look, I'll be very honest, that's not true. The statistics and the studies don't show that. Who's really going to suffer financially is the bail bonds company. I mean, there's going to be a kind of culling of a bail bonds company. A lot of them are going to have to go under because there's just not going to be enough to go around.
What are the crimes that are going to be the most affected by the law?
The people that are it's not just the crimes, but the people that are also going to be most affected, let me kind of answer your question first, is lower end crimes, right? Even felonies that don't involve any kind of violence or force or anything like that. Low level or misdemeanors as well. I think people should feel safe that anything involving murder, attempt murder, crimes of violence, those won't be affected at all by this new law. The purpose of this law, the entire idea for this reform movement, was that there is a percentage of people that in the criminal justice system, maybe 30%, that are good people that made a mistake and that they don't have the financial means to kind of weather the storm. And this could, they can't afford bail, so they lose their job. So they're, then they have to go on public assistance. It kind of creates a series of events where a person loses everything, and it's not fair given what the crime that they committed, which usually they'll end up on probation. they'll do either some community service, community labor,
Yeah.
pay their fines, and kind of get through it.
Right.
I see.
All right, again, Ambrosio Rodriguez is a criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. You can check out his website and follow him on Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Being here.